Good morning, everyone. I am your Heavenly Father. You are watching the live stream. Today we have so much going on. Right now, President Trump is going to walk out on his balcony and tell the kids in the audience that the Easter Bunny said that the military was out of ammo and it was depleted, and now he's completely rebuilt it, because kids and depleted militaries. And there's also some sort of peace agreement signing thing, so that's nice. Later today, we'll cover Fox and or Friends. President Trump was on there. He says he's going to be on it every Monday or Tuesday. Let's get right into it. This is the live stream, by the way. If you want to know more, go to kevinlyfather.com, specifically so that you can give me money. Or simply Venmo or PayPal me. Also, tell a friend. Welcome. The best place to chat is to go to youtube.com/KevinlyFather. Let's get right to it.
He is going to have some of these
Melissa, I'm going to step in. Forgive me,
and that's how you bring a
please.
deal together. Let's listen.
For the President of the United States.
Thank you very much. Please. Thank you.
Good so
The
far.
First Lady and I are honored to welcome to the White House Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel and Mrs. Netanyahu.
Indicted Prime Minister.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. And Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed, United Arab Emirates, UAE. Thank you very much. And Foreign Minister Abdulaziz Al-Zani of Bahrain. Thank you. Thank you very much. We're here this afternoon to change the course of history. After decades of division and conflict, we mark the dawn of a new Middle East. Thanks to the great courage of the leaders of these three countries, we take a major stride toward a future in which people of all faiths and backgrounds live together in peace and prosperity. In a few moments, these visionary leaders will sign the first two peace deals between Israel and the Arab state in more than a quarter century. In Israel's entire history, there have previously been only two such agreements. Now we have achieved two in a single month, and there are more to follow. Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain will establish embassies, exchange ambassadors, and begin to cooperate and work together so strongly to cooperate as partners across the broad...
He screwed up. That was some verbal kitty litter. Yeah, see, I'm screwing up too. Verbal kitty litter. He misread the word cooperate, and then together so strongly, just covered it up. Laid a turd, covered it up. Let's listen to that again.
Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain will establish embassies, exchange ambassadors, and begin to cooperate and work together so strongly to cooperate as partners across broad range of sectors, from tourism to trade and healthcare to security. They're going to work together. They are friends.
This is a peace agreement that's been in the works since August 13th, since my birthday.
The Abraham Accords also opened the door for Muslims around the world to visit the historic sites in Israel and to peacefully pray at Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, the third holiest site,
as opposed to violently pray,
in Islam. Together, these agreements will serve as the foundation for a comprehensive peace across the entire region, something which nobody thought was possible, certainly not in this day and age, maybe in many decades from now, but one founded on shared interests, mutual respect, and friendship. To our honored guests from Israel, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain, congratulations on this outstanding achievement. Congratulations. Fantastic. I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence. Thank you, Mike. Great job. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Mike,
don't forget Jared. Much. Happy birthday, Barb's daughter.
National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien. Robert, thank you. Mr. Jared Kushner. Jared, thank you very much. Ambassador Brian Hook. Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you. Thank you. And Avi Berkowitz. Avi, thank you very much.
Just to put this into context, he's claiming there's only been 2 peace agreements in the last 70 years in Israel. Not true. But okay. And this is an economic agreement to establish normal relations. Not necessarily a peace agreement because these countries weren't necessarily warring with each other. But there's many great steps that are happening there. Just to put it into context, though, Conan O'Brien got his own talk show. It was back in 1993. And his very first joke was, you know, everyone always said the day I get my own talk show will be the day there's peace in the Middle East. And there was. There was a peace agreement in 1993 that didn't last very long. But this could be very, very good. And it could be simply a way of getting things out of Trump that the UAE and Bahrain want. And it could be an actual peace agreement. We don't know. We don't know what the motives are here. But I would suspect that as soon as this is all taken care of, Trump will do things that would have been questioned before doing this. And if he gets into office for a second term, he's not going to do anything because it's like, what's the point of doing anything if you're not going to be elected? You're just staying out of prison for another 4 years.
I also want to give a very special thanks. He's been an incredible ambassador to Israel. David Friedman. That's a very great group of people, great group of patriots.
If I shake my camera too, does it look like we're in sync? Does it take away the shaking from the White House?
So badly. They worked so hard. And again, nobody thought it could happen, and they thought it could happen. They never even doubted it. So I want to thank you all very much. Thank you. For generations,
I'm amazed. It's been like 2 minutes already, and he hasn't said anything about blood on the sand.
People of the Middle East have been held back by old conflicts, hostilities, lies, treacheries. So many things held them back. Actually, lies that the Jews and Arabs were enemies, and that Al-Aqsa Mosque was under attack. Constantly, they would say it was under attack. These lies passed down from generation to generation, fueled a vicious cycle of terror and violence that spread across the region and all over the world. These agreements prove that the nations of the region are breaking free.
The whole White House is having a seizure, Marcy. It's an earthquake and no one's noticed. They're all a little bit on. When you're on Adderall, like it pretty much evens everything out.
From the failed approaches of the past. Today's signing sets history soon that will follow these great leaders.
I think that was just a hiccup on the camera.
It's spread across the region and all over the world.
Yep.
These agreements prove that the nations of the region are breaking free from the failed approaches of the past. Today's signing sets history soon that will follow these great leaders.
That was just a hiccup in the feed.
The people of the Middle East will no longer allow hatred of Israel to be fomented as an excuse for radicalism or extremism.
He's reading that. I remember the first time, or the last time we saw him the first time we saw him read it from a teleprompter, he said fomented.
So important. And they'll no longer allow the great destiny of their region to be denied. On my first foreign trip as president, I had the honor of addressing the leaders of more than 54 Arab and Muslim nations in Saudi Arabia. My message that day was very simple. I urged the nations of the Middle East to set aside their differences, unite against the common enemy of civilization, and work together toward the noble aims of security and prosperity. I offered America's...
Wait, unite against the common enemy, civilization? Or enemies of civilization? What did he say? It's two very different meanings.
It was very simple. I urge the nations of the Middle East to set aside their differences, unite against the common enemy of civilization, and
so the line is the common enemies of civilization. The way he read it is the common enemy, civilization. So, well done, Mr. Nobel Peace Prize. Here it is again.
Arab and Muslim nations in Saudi Arabia. My message that day was very simple. I urge the nations of the Middle East to set aside their differences, unite against the common enemy of civilization, and work together toward the noble aims of security and prosperity. I offered America's friendship.
Civilization!
I offered America's help, but I said clearly that the nations of the regions had to decide what kind of a future they wanted for their children and for their families and for their nation itself.
The children are in the families. You don't have to ad-lib that.
No one could make that choice for them. They had to do that themselves. Today, the world sees that they're choosing cooperation over conflict, friendship over enmity, prosperity over poverty, and hope over despair. They are choosing a future in which Arabs and Israelis, Muslims, Jews, and Christians can live together, pray together, and dream together, side by side in harmony, community, and peace. Once again, let me congratulate the people of Israel, the people of the United Arab Emirates, and the people of the Kingdom of Bahrain. God bless you all. This is an incredible day for the world. This is a really wonderful and beautiful occasion. I want to thank all of the members of Congress for being here. Senators, congressmen, congresswomen, we just appreciate it so much. Everybody wanted to be here. It's a very important day for the world. It's a very important day for peace. Before the parties sign the accords, I'd like to ask Prime Minister Netanyahu to say a few words, followed by the Foreign Minister of the United Arab Emirates and the Foreign Minister of Bahrain. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Our dear friend, President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, thank you for hosting me.
Whoa, you see how other world leaders do it? They take the mic and they adjust it to their level and they leave it. I didn't even watch to see if Trump needlessly adjusted it up and down at the beginning, but odds are good.
My wife.
Producer Rich isn't in here right now. If you're watching for the first time, Trump always comes out mic up, mic down, for no particular reason. Just
wife Sarah and our entire delegation on this historic day. I want to recognize Vice President Pence, Secretary Pompeo, National Security Advisor O'Brien, and other cabinet members, Jared Kushner, Avi Berkowitz, Ambassador Friedman, and other members of the President's able peace team, senators, members of Congress, Israeli Ambassador Ron Dermer, his Emirate and Bahraini counterparts, as well as all the dignitaries gathered here on this sunny day. I want to also express my gratitude for all the Israelis who've worked for years, sometimes in less sunny climes, to bring this date, and I thank each and every one of you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, this day is a pivot of history. It heralds a new dawn of peace. For thousands of years, the Jewish
He's a much better reader than Trump in a second language.
Jewish people have prayed for peace. For decades, the Jewish state has prayed for peace. And this is why today we're filled with such profound gratitude. I am grateful to you, President Trump, for your decisive leadership You have unequivocally stood by Israel's side. You have boldly confronted the tyrants of Tehran. You've proposed a realistic vision for peace between Israel and the Palestinians. And you have successfully brokered the historic peace that we are signing today, a peace that has broad support in Israel, in America, in the Middle East, indeed in the entire world. I am grateful to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed of the United Arab Emirates and to you, Foreign Minister Abdullah bin Zayed. I thank you both for your wise leadership and for working with the United States and Israel to expand the circle of peace. I am grateful to King Hamad of Bahrain and to you, Foreign Minister Abdul Latif Al-Zayani, for joining us in bringing hope to all the children of Abraham. To all of Israel's friends in the Middle East, those who are with us today and those who will join us tomorrow, I say, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
To thee. Shalom.
Shalom.
And you have heard from the President that he is already lining up more and more countries. This is unimaginable a few years ago, but with resolve, determination, a fresh look at the way peace is done, this is being achieved. Thank you, Mr. President.
That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people of Israel well know the price of war. I know the price of war. I was wounded in battle. A fellow soldier, a very close friend of mine, died in my arms. My brother Yoni lost his life while leading his soldiers to rescue hostages held by terrorists at Entebbe. My parents' grief over the loss of Yoni was unrelieved until their dying day. And over the years, when I've come to console the families of Israel's fallen soldiers and victims of terror, I have seen that same grief countless times. And this is why I am so deeply moved to be here today. For those who bear the wounds of war, cherish the blessings of peace. And the blessings of the peace we make today will be enormous. First, because this peace will eventually expand to include other Arab states, and ultimately it can end the Arab-Israeli conflict once and for all. Second, because the great economic benefits of our partnership will be felt throughout our region, and they will reach every one of our citizens. And third, because this is not only a peace between leaders, it's a peace between peoples. Israelis, Emiratis, and Bahrainis are already embracing one another. We are eager to invest in a future of partnership, prosperity, and peace. We've already begun to cooperate on combating Corona, and I'm sure that together we can find solutions to many of the problems that afflict our region and beyond. So despite the many challenges and hardships that we all face, despite all that, let us pause for a moment to appreciate this remarkable day. Let us rise above any political divide. Let us put all cynicism aside. Let us feel, on this day, the pulse of history. For long after the pandemic is gone, the peace we make today will endure. Ladies and gentlemen, I have devoted my life to securing Israel's place among the nations to ensure the future of the one and only Jewish state. To accomplish that goal, I work to make Israel strong, very strong. For history has taught us that strength brings security, strength brings allies, and ultimately, and this is something President Trump has said again and again, ultimately, strength brings peace. King David expressed this basic truth thousands of years ago in our eternal capital, Jerusalem. His prayer, immortalized in the book of Psalms in the Bible, echoes from our glorious past and guides us towards a brilliant future. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo b'shalom. May God give strength to his people. May God bless his people with peace. Mr. President, distinguished guests, this week is Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And what a blessing we bring to this new year. A blessing of friendship, a blessing of hope, a blessing of peace. Thank you.
That is beautiful. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, His Highness, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates.
See? Moves it down and then not back out again.
Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, and my friend Abdul Latif Zayani, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let me start by conveying the best regards of the UAE people and the leadership.
Wow, sorry.
And especially of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. To you, Mr. President.
I tried to kill my mic for that, but I sneezed just as I was trying to get over the button that kills them. I need a mic killing button. I need a...
And everyone gathered here today.
It's all software.
I'll continue my speech in Arabic, and I'm sure there will be translation to that.
I hope so. If not, we'll skip it.
أمد يد سلام وأستقبل يد سلام. نقول في ديننا الإسلامي اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام.
Doesn't look like we're going to get the translated feed.
Yet principles are effectively realized when they are transformed into action. Today, we are already witnessing a change in the heart of the Middle East, a change that will send hope around the world.
Tofu, actually, I have been working with, there's a software version of the Stream Deck, and instead of spending $150 for free, you can get it on a tablet or a phone. So you just use your tablet or a phone to use the same functions as a Stream Deck. So yeah, I literally downloaded it a couple of days ago, so I will be doing that. Thank you very much for mentioning that.
لم تكن هذه المبادرة ممكنة لولا جهود فخامة الرئيس الأمريكي دونالد ترامب وفريقه الذي سعى بجد وإخلاص لنصر السلام في الولايات.
And his team who worked hard and sincerely for us all to reach here. Most notably, my counterpart, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and Jared Kushner, Senior Advisor to the President of the United States.
The President's son-in-law.
And all those who are genuine about the principle of peace in the United States. who have strived to realize this major achievement. Thank you.
دولة رئيس الوزراء الإسرائيلي
Your Excellency, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of the State of Israel, thank you for choosing peace and for halting the annexation of Palestinian territories, a decision that reinforces our shared will to achieve a better future for generations to come.
سادة الحضور، نشهد اليوم فكرا جديدا سيخلق مسارا أفضل لمنطقة الشرق الأوسط، فمعاهدة السلام هذه تعد إنجازا تاريخيا لكل من الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية ودولة إسرائيل ودولة الإمارات. لن يتوقف أثرها الإيجابي، بل إننا نؤمن بأن ثمارها ستنعكس على المنطقة بأسرها، فكل خيار غير السلام سيعني دمار وفقر. الله إلى خلق
The State of Israel and the United Arab Emirates will continue to have a positive impact, as we believe that its reverberations will be reflected on the entire region. Every option other than peace would signify destruction, poverty, and human suffering. This new vision, which is beginning to take shape as we meet today for the future of the region, full of youthful energy, is not a slogan that we raise for political gain, as everyone looks forward to creating a more stable, prosperous, and secure future. Movement. We are pleased that the United Arab Emirates will be part of the momentum towards stability and the growth of human potential in a new civilized approach that opens wide the doors of opportunity for those who look forward towards peace, prosperity, and the future.
Yeah, I was just watching one of his speeches from 2016 in Everett, Washington, because, you know, that's what I do with my time. Yeah, he promised school choice back in 2016. Everything he's saying now is just the same as 2016 that he hasn't done anything on. The healthcare, Mexico's going to pay for the wall, the school choice. It's all the same noise that no one really paid that much attention to back then, and it's still.
Our societies today possess the foundation of modern human development, such as infrastructure, a solid economy, and scientific achievements that will enable them to advance the future of the Middle East.
تؤمن الإمارات بأن دور الولايات المتحدة وقعت مع إسرائيل.
And this belief is evidenced by the accord that we are signing today at the White House, for which you have taken the lead, and will remain a beacon in human history for all peace-loving people around the world. And as for us in the United Arab Emirates, this accord will enable us to continue to stand by the Palestinian people and realize their hopes for an independent state within a stable and prosperous region. This accord builds upon previous peace agreements signed by Arab nations with the State of Israel. The aim of all these treaties is to work towards stability and...
No. There's no other treaties. You see Trump move on that one. It's like, hey, what? We don't talk about the previous tweet. This is not build upon it. This is brand new. This is all Trump all the time. Watch him react to this. He's been a mannequin up till now.
People and realize their hopes for an independent state within a stable and prosperous region. This accord builds upon previous peace agreements signed by Arab nations with the State of Israel. The aim of all these treaties is to work towards stability and sustainable development.
هذه السنة صعبة على العالم الذي يعاني من أي من كان.
Of the COVID-19 pandemic might.
See, now normally I would take whatever language he happens to be speaking and I would translate for you, just trying to be silly, and I can't, because now if it was like a Polish guy, I could do that because the Polish guy's white, but if I do it with him, it's racist, so I can't do that. So we will just stick with the translator.
country, the United Arab Emirates, has reinforced its humanitarian commitments established by our nation's founding father, Sheikh Zayed, who taught us that standing with others, regardless of their religious or ethnic affiliation, is a humanitarian duty and a firm principle.
استطاع بأن منطقة الماضي إلى محل
is able to launch a probe to Mars. The HOPE probe indeed represents hope.
Oh, I want to hear this.
اتفاقية لتفتح آفاق أوسع لسلام شامل في المنطقة.
During this difficult time, the United Arab Emirates, my country, was able to launch a probe to Mars.
Chris, I can't respond to that comment without being accused of racism. So, you're the racist, my friend.
The HOPE probe indeed represents hope that our region is capable of advancement and progress if governments and people embrace science. After the United Arab Emirates,
I don't think science knows. I don't think science knows at all. I talked to him about 2 weeks ago, and he got it totally wrong. He got this whole thing wrong.
Sent astronaut Hazza al-Mansouri last year as the first Arab astronaut to reach the International Space Station and launched a peaceful nuclear power plant. This accord opened up prospects for a comprehensive peace in the region.
سادة الحضور، إن السلام يحتاج إلى شجاعة. السلام
requires courage, and shaping the future requires knowledge. The advancement of nations requires sincerity and persistence. We have come today to tell the world that this is our approach and that peace is our guiding principle. Those who begin things in the right way will reap bright achievements with the grace of God. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With grace of God.
The translator is a better reader than Trump.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
speeches are pre-written, but they're pre-translated. So that the translator is not really translating so much as reading the speech. Typically, otherwise this is the world's greatest translator because he's being very eloquent in his translation. But yeah, usually they're written in both languages.
Minister of the Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Mr. President, the First Lady, Prime Minister, Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today is a truly historic occasion, a moment of hope and opportunity for all the peoples of the Middle East, and in particular for the millions in our younger generations. The declaration
I just want to check one thing. Sorry, guys.
Of Bahrain.
I got to go back a little bit more.
Thank you.
Sorry.
With grace
it's very important.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of the...
Yeah, they've all been tested, so they're just not doing the 6 feet apart thing. And nobody in Trump's orbit does the 6 feet apart. I mean, the virus is over, right?
The Foreign Affairs?
No, the gentleman that just spoke is Your Highness. He's probably part of the royal family, UAE.
Of the Kingdom of Bahrain.
Often in those countries, it'll be royal family members who are ministers of foreign affairs, etc. I'm just watching. This is the important part. I have to do what my producers tell me to do.
The First Lady, Prime Minister, Your Highness, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
Okay, he's the best guy there. Why? Because he didn't adjust the mic for no apparent reason. It's a cardioid pattern. It'll pick up everything. You don't have... This guy understands how technology works. He should be put in charge of the whole thing.
Today is a truly historic occasion, a moment of hope and opportunity for all the peoples of the Middle East.
What? We can't hear you. You didn't adjust the mic. You have to...
and in particular for the millions in our younger generations. The declaration supporting peace between the Kingdom of Bahrain and the State of Israel is an historic step on the road to genuine and lasting peace, security, and prosperity across the region, and for all who live there, regardless of religion, sect, ethnicity, or ideology. For too long, the Middle East has been set back by conflict and mistrust, causing untold destruction and thwarting the potential of generations of our best and brightest young people. Now, I'm convinced we have the opportunity to change that. Today's declaration was made possible by the vision, courage, and commitment of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa.
I swear to God, I thought he was going to say Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's just every time I hear today's blank is brought to you by, and then it's either the letter P and Q and the number 12 from Sesame Street, or from years of watching The White Shadow in Canada, it was always today's program is brought to you by the makers of Kraft Dinner. Does anybody know what Kraft Dinner is? Babe, if you're in here, you do. Kraft Dinner is what the Canadians call what? What the Canadians call what?
Supported by the people of Bahrain, has protected, institutionalized, and enhanced Bahrain's centuries-old spirit of coexistence and harmony, and has the wisdom to recognize that genuine cooperation is the most effective means to achieve peace.
Stephanie is correct. Kraft Dinner is Kraft macaroni and cheese. The Canadians call it Kraft Dinner, and they eat it sometimes with ketchup.
And
do I think this peace agreement will last? Possibly. I don't know. The key is having the Palestinians agree to a lasting peace. And just a couple of weeks ago, when we heard nothing about it, Hamas, actually brokered by Egypt, did come to some sort of agreement with Israel. It's all questionable here. You can answer. Go ahead, Hero. But you're too late. Here's the problem. The Palestinians and the Israelis still can't agree on the settlements, which is a completely different topic, although it's kind of the cause of a lot of what's going on here. And neither side is willing to budge because they both see that land as God's gift to them.
Safeguard legitimate rights. Thank you, Your Majesty, for this vision of peace for the region based on trust, respect, and understanding between all faiths, races, and nations. To our brothers in the United Arab Emirates, I congratulate you.
And now I'm craving mac and cheese as well. I had mac and cheese last night with, what did I eat it with? Oh, some ribs. I put some ribs in there. I made ribs the other night, and my last rib went in there. Thanks for joining us, kids. This is your first time watching. This is what we do. We watch political events, and we chat truth to power, and we talk about macaroni and cheese. So welcome. Join us. That's the Kraft lunch in Canada, is mac and cheese and then cut up hot dogs inside. I had those so many times as a kid, and I loved it every single time.
Our own momentous peace accord being signed today with Israel. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed has shown great leadership and foresight to make peace possible and secure a brighter future for our region. For the State of Israel and Prime Minister Netanyahu, we welcome and appreciate these steps from you and your government, recognizing that enduring peace and security is only possible through a genuine engagement that protects the rights and interests of countries and peoples in the region. In particular, I want to express my deep appreciation to President Donald Trump and his administration. Mr. President, your statesmanship and tireless efforts have brought us here today and made peace a reality. And to Secretary Pompeo, Senior Advisor Jared Kushner, and Special Representative Avi Brikovitz, who have, and others, many others.
This was part of my pandemic preparation. Costco sells 18 packs of Kraft Dinner.
Who have carried out their...
I haven't actually eaten one of them yet. I used an off-brand a couple of nights ago to make mac and cheese.
Mandates with dedication and skill. Ladies and gentlemen, today's agreement
is brought to you
is an important
by Kraft
first
Dinner.
step, and it is now incumbent on us to work urgently and actively to bring about the lasting peace and security our peoples deserve. A just, comprehensive, and enduring two-state solution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict will be the foundation, the bedrock of such peace. We have shown today that such a path is possible, even realistic. What was only dreamed of a few years ago is now achievable, and we can see before us a golden opportunity for peace, security, and prosperity for our region. Let us, together and with our international partners, waste no time in seizing it. Thank you.
That's a great job. They won't be taking questions. Kind of sounds like a foreboding ending of one of the Star Wars movies. He is. He's the Kraft Dinner president. That is an excellent question, Leslie. And yes, that's entirely possible that Saudi Arabia and Israel will sign some sort of peace accord as just days before the election. I swear to God, the soundtrack to Flash Gordon was so much more exciting than this. Oh, they're coming down here to sign. That's what they're doing. All right, let's skip ahead here.
Will sign a treaty of peace.
Yeah. What about Bahrain over there on your left, kids? Why doesn't he get to? They're like, oh, we want to be part of this too. They didn't have time to put in the paperwork. It's been this way for about a week and a half. Maybe he doesn't have the authority to sign on behalf of the government. I don't know. I don't know why he's not signing. And Trump, he's not signing anything. This is an agreement between UAE and Israel. It's the United States is okay.
Can you be helpful?
Like, so a couple of weeks ago, remember with Kosovo and was it Bosnia? Who was it a couple of weeks ago? Anyway, we had two different countries signing that peace agreement a couple of weeks ago, which was ignored by the media, according to the Democrats, even though we saw coverage of it. And Trump signed something as well, and that something wasn't anything. They just gave him some paper to sign, and he signed it. It's not part of the agreement. The United States is not part of that agreement at all. It was simply a piece of paper acknowledging that something was happening, and Trump signed it. They gave him something to sign because he likes to sign things. This is his favorite part of being president.
You're in telling you you're my name. Okay.
You do the same for me in Arabic.
I will.
So, which one is mine?
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of funny. So they're trying to figure out it's written in multiple languages, and they're trying to figure out where to sign. And then Netanyahu said, "You do the same for me in Arabic." Okay, so it looks like maybe multiple languages, 3 different languages, which would make sense, and they're all going to sign it. But the guy from Bahrain was just left out of it until now. I should call him the minister, but anyway. Let's see if he gets to sign something. Nope.
That would be easiest. It's easiest.
I can hear his Sharpie from here, 3,000 miles away.
26 years.
Can we flip them over?
Thank you very much. I would like the chicken fingers with some Kraft macaroni and cheese, if that's okay. And if I could get for the treat, I would like a pirate ship with a chocolate coin. At least they let Bahrain guy sit. That's nice. We're done, BB. Oh, we're gonna do it again? Standing? Okay. We're not done, BB. What's this heart tapping thing he's doing now? He's doing like this, the 1/3 of the Sammy Sosa tribute.
The President of the United States, the Prime Minister of the State of Israel, and the Minister of the Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Bahrain will now sign the declaration.
Oh, they're doing 2 of them. Okay, good. All right. So Bahrain gets to be. So this is not a peace accord that everyone's going to come across or come onto. This is now separate peace accords. All right, I'm okay with that.
Each side.
The way it was presented the last couple of weeks, it was that other countries are going to come in and sign this accord as well. So there was going to be a multinational agreement. I guess that's not the case.
3 copies, 1 in English, Hebrew, and Arabic. We kindly ask that all guests remain seated for the signing of the documents.
Okay, well, we're going to skip ahead. We saw this already. And I'm going to take pictures. It's like, dude, I didn't sign this one. Why am I holding this for the picture? several people are wearing masks in the audience, and this is good.
The President of the United States, the Prime Minister of the State of Israel, His Highness, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the United Arab Emirates, and the Minister of the Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Bahrain will now sign the Abraham Accords.
Okay, so these are the Abraham Accords.
They will each sign 4 copies.
Okay,
one in English.
We don't need to see that. Wait, 4 copies? What's the last one? Farsi? Sorry, I missed that. I want to hear what the 4 copies are. Come on. Come on. Do it.
Bahrain will now sign the Abraham Accords.
Yeah.
They will each sign 4 copies. 1 in English, 1 in Hebrew, and 2 in Arabic.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Lizzie Dog says he sounds like an angry Anderson Cooper, and that is correct. I can't get to my bell right now because it's on the other side of the... Hold on. I can't see it. I have the macaroni and cheese Jenga in the way. That is correct, Lizzie. Okay, sign. Oh, there we go.
And with that, you can see that the Abraham Accords signing ceremony has come to a close with each...
Yeah, that is correct, Chris Wilson. Let's move across the mac and cheese, and I know they did a little bit of a press conference before this, and I haven't watched it, but let's see if we can come across it. So, oh boy, that took a while. Whew, we've been doing this almost an hour now, kids. Let's go back one program and see what we can find. So this was outnumbered, so Fox whatever should be before this. They will have aired this outnumbered. Let's go back one, and we should come across America's Newsroom. There it is. Okay, let's see if they caught it here. It's a 3-hour show, so we should be looking at somewhere in this area.
Have a good day.
I can't deny it.
It's Tuesday. Go to church.
It's a bad hour.
Okay.
Needs to give.
It's not giving me a preview yet, but it's going to be somewhere in this territory. It's commercial. Okay, maybe it was before this. They usually do a sit down in the Oval Office. Here's something that's just in.
Expanded at-home telehealth visits. You don't get these benefits.
Oh, quiet. Okay, where is it? It should be somewhere in here. They usually broadcast stuff like that, unless it was way earlier this morning, but typically they don't spend a lot of time in between. It should be somewhere in this territory here. They're waiting outside. Did they not show it? Did they not do it? Let's go to C-SPAN and see if they did. Okay, let's go to the C-SPAN. Oh, I've got a little block right here. C-SPAN's thinking about it. It may not cooperate with us. Mike Caputo. Yeah, boy, if you guys haven't watched Rachel from last night yet, watch the first segment. Weird, and then weirder. Michael Caputo is just a strange human being. No, they don't show that. The president not do an Oval Office address or a press session at all? That sounds really weird. Is this what we just watched? The Abraham Accord? And the First Lady participate in an Abraham Accord signing between the Israel and the United... Okay, yeah, that's what we just watched. Guys, did anybody see? Did they do something sitting in yellow chairs? They'll usually do that. But they've got 4 leaders, so maybe... no, we're looking good, Andy. We're looking green. Must have been blocked on your end. House Democrats, Senate hearing on college athletics. That's important. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they didn't do it, guys. Which, actually, you know how we find out? We go to the Twitters and we look up and we see if it was on anywhere, Aaron or... give me a second. Let's pull this over. Let's go to the Twitters. And we will look up Aaron Rupar. There he is. And he will have caught something. Okay. Ha! Scientific American has never endorsed a presidential candidate in our 175-year history. Until now, the 2020 election is literally a matter of life and death. We urge you to vote for health, science, and Joe Biden for president. Scientific American has endorsed a presidential candidate. That's where we are, folks. Okay. Yeah, okay, there was. This was on Fox. Okay, so let's go back to Fox and let's find it. Going back to America's Newsroom, which started at 6 and ended at 9. Outnumbered comes on at 10. Oh, did I miss a program? That must be what's going on. Give me a second here. So what time did Outnumbered start? Outnumbered starts at 10, does it? We'll find it on one of the other networks if we have to. Come on, you can do it. Come on. There it is. No, it starts at 9. Was it the beginning of the program? No, we watched that already. It's got to be during... How about this? Is there an 8 a.m. broadcast of CNN Newsroom? Give me a second. 7 a.m. So it would be the program after that, unless that's a 2-hour program. Let's just check. Usually CNN newsrooms, they split up by the hour, but we'll take a look here and we'll find it. Go ahead. 7 a.m. and it was a... Wow. Slow feed today. Come on. No? Don't forget our friend David Mickelson, the founder of Snopes, is coming up in 3 minutes on one of the channels. I don't know if I'm recording it. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it from where I am. Okay. All right, CNN's just not going to cooperate. Could be Yahoo TV just not cooperating with us. Let's try something else. Andrea Mitchell, let's see if she covered it. So this is a 9 a.m. feed. No, see, it was before 9 a.m. Nothing's playing for me anyway. I'm dead in the water here.
More
oh, there she is.
For the 9/11 relief victims. But you've lost so many friends.
Yeah, Andrea
Talk
Mitchell.
To me about this struggle.
Andrea Mitchell had Jon Stewart, the guy in the mask on the right there. That's Jon Stewart from the Daily Show. You know it. So it was before this. It was between 8 and 9, is what I'm guessing. Come on. And see, was there an 8 a.m. feed of CNN Newsroom? 10 a.m., 9 a.m., 8 a.m. Yeah, it should be here. One more time.
Okay.
Let's pause this. Give me a feed. Give me a feed. Hurricane. Governor of Mississippi. Hurricane. Hurricane must be coming, kids. And... All right, did CNN just not cover it? What is happening? Go back to the 7 a.m. There is no 7 a.m. CNN newsroom. I don't think it was far back as Newsday. Let me check in with you guys, because some of you guys might actually know what's going on here. Watch it on CNN. Okay, so they covered it slightly delayed. I do watch Vice News sometime, and it's good. I think it's on Showtime now. And Vice News has their own channel on Pluto. Yeah, the hurricane is just moving at 2 miles an hour and just dumping rain on everybody. CNN, so let's go back on CNN then, and CNN Newsroom. And the 7 a.m. broadcast, did it go for 2 hours or just one?
Real problem wasn't necessarily technology, but more the public willingness to make something like this happen. I learned that that actually wasn't true, that people do really care.
Okay. I'm glad people care, but there's a gap in here somewhere that we're just missing it. What about Stephanie? Did MSNBC? No, that's 6 a.m. And it's possible that, and sometimes YouTube TV, as cool as it is, it will not show me things that I recorded sometimes. Okay, so here's all the recordings. 270 different recordings, and let's see if it just kind of is blooping me out on something. There's CNN Newsroom. Maybe it's possible sometimes the programs will change the name of them. CNN will call it something else. But we should be able to go back to America's Newsroom, and it should be on America's Newsroom, because you know Fox covered it. That's the 6 a.m. feed, and so it's a 3-hour show.
Trillions.
Yeah.
Is there?
That's a 3-hour show. Let's go back. They're outside the White House. Could have been quite a while ago, and it could have been very short, and I just missed it. Outside the White House, some sort of sheriff somewhere. Okay, they're outside the White House still. Wildfires. That could be the governor of Mississippi. There's Donald Trump from earlier in the day. There's the portico waiting for some sort of announcement. Still outside, driveway, White House. So this might have happened a lot earlier this morning. Hold on. Let's go back. President outside. All right, I want to cover this and then just get on with my day, but there'll be more stuff coming up. We'll see if we can watch David. I think he's on in the air right now. But David was going to join us for the coverage of his television appearance. Maybe. I think it kind of looked like the whole show was about fact-checking, so good for David. But he's in the air right now on his way to Los Angeles. It's cool that he feels safe enough to fly. We'll find out if he has COVID soon enough, and then we'll know. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I can't find it. Is Biden live right now? Hold on. Let's go live. And let's see. Soon there's going to be a conference about Breonna Taylor. This is Trump. Oh, my God. So Fox is covering the Biden live, and the other two networks are not. Let's take a look.
And man, it's more glaring and more offensive to me, and our respect. In my view, based on reports.
Okay, let's go back one program. This would be Outnumbered Overtime. Sorry, guys. That was like 10 minutes of me. Yeah, YouTube TV is actually really good. The interfaces, especially on the phone, leave a lot to be desired, but I've been happy with it so far. But then look at the price of Sling TV and see what channels you watch and see if it's worth it for you. The nice thing about YouTube TV, it's unlimited recording, and it goes back 9 months. So I just record everything, and if I need to look something up from April, I can. If I need to look up something from before the pandemic, I'm SOL. But right now, starting in January, I have just about every news program. You can see, like, I record CBS This Morning. I rarely watch it, but let's say that Pompeo's on CBS This Morning and I want to see it, then I can. And then there's also things like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, stuff that I can get on Hulu or Netflix already. It's saved for me there. So, and a lot of movies, too, if you want to watch a movie that you've never seen before that aren't on the HBOs, etc., or whatever you don't have. A lot of movies, surprisingly, like the Matrix series was just on one of the channels the other day, and you can fast forward through the commercials. What were we doing? Oh, Outnumbered Overtime is what we're looking for. And it's not showing it. So, again, it's not showing it to me, but I know that I have it. So, let's go to Outnumbered or Outnumber. Here it is. And they should start covering Biden towards the end of this. I'm such a nerd. There we go. Biden. Here he is.
He's getting such softball.
Let's go back. What's he saying?
Challenges when he's going to get 95-mile-an-hour pitching. If you.
Okay, so this is Ari Fleischer, the former press spokesman for the Bush administration. I think I might be misremembering that. Anyway, he's a regular on Fox now, the whole thing now is first it was Biden won't come out of the basement. He wasn't in the basement. Then it was Biden won't take questions from anybody. Now they're criticizing the media for not asking tough enough questions. The guy can't win. It's like, President Biden, what did you do in response to the coronavirus?
Only take batting practice at 50 and 60 miles an hour. You may be a little slow to hit the 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah. You play like you practice, is what you're saying. Ari Fleischer, thank
Okay, but that analogy means absolutely nothing.
you so very much.
System. And this is just...
It's like Biden's been in politics since the age of 26, I think. He actually lost his first bid and then won at 29 or 28, whatever it was, a long time ago, almost 50 years ago. And they think that he can't handle questions. This is just going to backfire.
That's one reason why. You help people take the next step in their lives to get the training and accreditation they need, including our vets who, after years of dedication to our country, are ready to build civilian lives of meaning and of opportunity. Less than 1% of the population of our country chooses to serve our country in the military. Less than 1% risk everything to defend our nation, our values, and everything we hold dear. And the other 99% of us, we owe them. We owe them our thanks, our gratitude, and our respect. In my view, based on reports and interviews, President Trump has proven he's unfit to hold the office of the presidency time again, but nowhere are his faults more glaring and more offensive, to me at least, than when it comes to his denigration of our service members, veterans, wounded warriors, the fallen. Quite frankly, I won't say get angry, quite frankly, it makes me very upset the way he gets in front of a camera and crows about how much he has done for veterans and then turns around and insults our service members and fallen heroes when the camera's off. Calls them suckers and losers. My son, Beau, who as a U.S. attorney volunteered to go 6 months to...
Moving on to the next program.
Signing ceremony. Trace, great to be with you.
No,
See you
why?
back here tomorrow morning. Outnumbered.
No. Okay. No. No, they went back to it. Come on, we want Dana Perino. Yeah, again, YouTube has some wonderful aspects to it, YouTube TV, and other aspects that are just simply maddening. Like, why? Why would you do that? Why are we going backwards? Let's go to Dana Perino.
Based on reports and interviews, President Trump has proven he's unfit to hold the office of the presidency time again, but nowhere are his faults more glaring and more offensive, to me at least, than when it comes to his denigration of our service members, veterans, wounded warriors, the fallen. Quite frankly, I won't say get angry, quite frankly, it makes me very upset the way he gets in front of a camera and crows about how much he has done for veterans and then turns around and insults our service members and fallen heroes when the camera's off. Calls them suckers and losers. My son, Beau, who as a U.S. attorney volunteered to go 6 months to Kosovo to help them set up a criminal justice system. He did such a good job there, Kosovo government named a highway after him, erected a war memorial. And then he had to get an exemption because he's Attorney General of the state of Delaware to go with his unit to Iraq. And he went for a year in Iraq. Came home with a Bronze Star. He's gone now, but he was no sucker. He was a man like many of the people he served with, women and men, who served with him, served in a way that they should be honored as heroes, not in some derogatory way. They didn't come home losers. They came home heroes. And I think it's an absolute disgrace. Donald Trump has no idea.
At this point, this election could swing on General Kelly. So, General Kelly, if you're watching, please go to kevinleefather.com, become a patron. And also, tell the story.
About the ideas that animate women and men who sign up to serve. Duty. Honor.
Duty. Oh.
Country. That's what service and patriotism is all about.
Okay, so he's appealing to the veterans. We're just going to skip ahead to live. Okay, so he's going to be doing this a while. Normally I'd watch this with you guys, but I have a ton of stuff to do today, and I got a couple of voiceovers that are due, and a regular audition as well, so I've got to get those spit out. And then there's stuff going on with the charity drive and stuff like that. We'll do a couple more things before we take off here. This is interesting. Aaron Rupar, I was just looking him up to see what was going on with the... This is Jim Cramer. Now, Jim Cramer is the guy from Mad Money. He's on CNBC now. But Jim Cramer was the guy from Mad Money who, remember, before the Great Recession was buy, Bear Stearns, that's the way to go. Wah! And he would hit a little button. He didn't have a bell. He had all these little buttons. Wah, 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 wah. And all of his predictions didn't work out well with the Lehman Brothers and the Bear Stearns and all the other ones. So he's wrong quite often, but apparently something happened between him and Speaker Pelosi. Let's listen.
I mean, what deal can we have, Crazy Nancy? I'm sorry, that was the president. I have such reverence for the office, I would never use that term. But it is hard,
you just did.
isn't it? Oh, come on.
But you just did.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. The reverence I have for the office is so great. I mean, what?
He calls it, I would never use that term, but you just did. That's funny. In his defense, he corrected himself right away. So that's just funny. I don't hold that against. We all make mistakes. Crazy Nancy. And apologize for it right away. So, fine. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's funny. So apparently he did say blood on the sand. Let's go to Aaron right here and listen.
Sand. I say it. We spoke with the Crown Prince, so we've made tremendous strides, and this is peace in the Middle East without blood all over the sand. I say it. Right now, it's been blood all over the sand for decades and decades and decades. That's all they do is they fight and kill people, and nobody gets anything.
Okay, good. There's a timestamp on here. So now we know it was at 9:42 Eastern. We're going to give it one more attempt. So we have to find a 9 o'clock feed at 9:42, and we're going to do that. Okay, let's go back to, that's the Fox and Friends from earlier. So if we go to the library and we find Fox at 9 o'clock, let's go down a little bit here. Was Outnumbered, did that start at 9? It did start at 9. Was it Outnumbered Overtime that we were watching?
Tomorrow morning, Outnumbered starts now.
Yeah, got it.
All eyes on the White House. President Trump is set to preside over a historic ceremony this hour at the White House.
Oh, there's a bunch of it, guys.
A new era for middle.
Oh, that was the whole 9 o'clock hour. I don't know how I was missing that this whole time. So we found it. Here's what I'm going to do. There's so much going on today, and I have so much to do that's actually priority over you people. I've got better things to do. Come on. I got to do auditions for which I'm up against 1,000 other guys and I'm not going to get. So that's more important. So I'm going to take a break now because we've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes. And I'll come back later. So just keep watching for the feed today. I'll try and warn people on Twitter. Today's going to be a day of delays because so much has happened already. I don't know what else is going to happen today. There's nothing listed on C-SPAN, but we'll take it as it comes. And then at some point, either today or tomorrow, hopefully we'll get David from Snopes with us and we'll watch his big show on... you know what we can do is we can actually go to... We're going to see if it's actually recording, and then I'll know whether or not I have to mess with it. You know what? We're going to get out of here. I will check with that later. I will figure out a way to make this work, and we can all watch that together later. We'll come back. We'll watch this later. We have an interview on Fox and Friends to watch later as well. And remember, when I say we'll do something later, we might not. But I do know that I'll be having that for lunch. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. This has been the live stream. This is what we do. We chat truth to power. And this could be a wonderful pivot in the race course of history. In the couch moving of history. So that's good. And it could fall apart like every other peace accord that has happened in the Middle East since the dawn of time. Anything else going on in here? Yeah, no trolls today, but we will have trolls later. Fear not. 10 to 1 likes. Yay. I'm not sure if that does anything. I'm having my own battles with YouTube right now, but it's good. There was no copyrighted music that I noticed in that feed, so hopefully we won't get a copyright strike on this, and we will be back later in the day. And just to recap the president's thoughts on today's big peace agreement.
Where are you going?
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?